1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
The Sir Shop, Statesboro's finest men's fashions.
And welcome to the Georgia Southern Postgame Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald. And Mike, I don't think either one of us saw this coming. I don't think many of the fans saw it coming. Georgia Southern comes into this game as a 21-point favorite, ends up losing by the most lopsided score in Paulson Stadium history. 34-7, nothing really went the Eagles' way in this ball game. Mike, you could say, argue, most embarrassing, most humbling loss in school history. I guess you can throw Central Connecticut, West Georgia up there, but this is definitely among the top couple.
Definitely a humbling loss, especially with the considering the ease that Georgia Southern was able to go up to the Georgia Dome last year. A little bit of animosity between these two teams. Both of them really want to win. A lot of people figured it would be a long ways down the road before Georgia State was able to do it, but you have to give the Panthers credit. They came out ready to take a fight to Georgia Southern, and Georgia Southern, not going to say that they came out flat or didn't come to play, but a couple of breaks go against them early on, a couple of injuries, and it seemed like at times they were just waiting around for something good to happen. And in games like that, you have to make your own breaks. Georgia Southern, once again, not able to do it when they had to turn to the passing game that's haunted them all season. The running game, to Georgia State's credit, after 613 yards allowed last year, able to stifle the Georgia Southern run, and Georgia Southern just not able to make things happen through the air.
Well, you did have Matt Breida go out in the first half. He limps off. He goes back to the locker room, but Matt Breida is not the entire team. Matt Breida doesn't play defense. Matt Breida doesn't play special teams. You miss a field goal, you have problems with that. Your defense really played arguably their worst game of the year, and your offense probably played about as bad as they played, maybe aside from the West Virginia game to start the season.
The offense definitely just couldn't find anything, any sort of rhythm at all with the injuries, maybe changing up some play calls, getting themselves into bad situations where it's hard to run the ball, and it just never seemed like they were able to break off those 2 or 3 big runs to get a defense on its heels. Georgia State continued to attack, continued to make tackles. When they did give up some yards, they didn't allow a missed tackle or a missed assignment to amount to a big run for the Eagles. And then with the defense, I think we saw a little bit of what we saw earlier this year with West Virginia, with Appalachian State, with the offense getting on and off the field so quickly with those 3 and outs, a couple of big turnovers. That defense eventually wore down, and we talked about it leading up to this game this week. Nick Arbuckle, we knew he would be one of the best quarterbacks that the Eagles have seen all season, and when that defense got a little bit tired, he definitely made them pay.
Very rare to see the mass exodus coming with 8 or 9 minutes left in the game, with Georgia Southern trailing in a game here at Paulson Stadium. Without further ado, let's send you out for how things happened here at Paulson Stadium this afternoon. Senior day and the final game of the 2015 season Saturday. A beautiful day for football, freedom flying high, and the Eagles welcoming in Georgia State along with the governor and first lady for the interstate rivalry. Coach Fritz hoping to end the regular season on a positive note. The defense with a big play early on. Nick Arbuckle scrambling, and he's picked off by senior Matt Dobson, who makes a nice return, his 7th career interception, 2nd of the season. The offense in excellent field position, but the Panther defense would hold the Eagles in check most of the game. The Eagle defense continuing to do their job in the first quarter. Antoine Williams helping out on the hit here. The offense trying to get something going through the air. Kevin Ellison puts this one on the money, but Derek Keaton unable to hang on. An opportunity missed. We go to the second with no score, but not for long as Arbuckle play action going deep and finding Penny Hart behind the defense for the 63-yard touchdown, and Georgia State grabs a 7-0 lead. The Eagles' next drive aided by 2 Georgia State personal fouls. L.A. Ramsey with the first down run. He'd lead the way with 65 yards rushing, and Ramsby cleaning things up with a 1-yard score. We're tied at 7-all. The defense holding on their next series. Ryan George coming up with the sack. The Eagles back on offense and moving downfield. Kevin Ellison will find B.J. Johnson for a first down. That drive stalls. In comes Younghoe Koo for the 37-yard field goal, trying to give the Eagles the lead, but it's no good, and it's still 7-all. Injuries added to insult as Matt Breida hurt his ankle and was unable to return for the whole game. Time winding down again, the Eagles moving downfield. Ellison and Johnson hook up. Another first down, but an old coach told me one time, when you throw the ball, 3 things can happen. 2 are bad. This is the worst. Ellison underthrows Keaton. It's picked off by Terrace Batiste, who makes a nice return. And we go to the half, tied at 7-all. The Panthers start the third quarter with a bang after holding on defense. Arbuckle, the bullet to Robert Davis. Georgia State takes a 13-7 lead. The Eagles in good field position throughout, but unable to get anything going. Held to a season-low 135 on the ground. And for the Panthers, not only would they outgain GSU 489-203, they'd actually outrush them as well, led by Glenn Smith. This drive culminates in Keith Rucker's touchdown, 20-7. Georgia State in the third. This the kind of night it was for the Eagles. Upshaw on the money, but Miles Campbell can't come up with it. The Eagles then go for it on 4th and short. The pass appears complete to B.J. Johnson, but he doesn't control the ball to the ground. Georgia State takes over. More from Arbuckle, who lived up to his hype, throwing for 346 and 3 touchdowns. To the fourth we go. Kyler Neal breaking the plane for the touchdown to give Georgia State a 27-7 lead. The Eagle offense continues to sputter. Ellison eventually dropped here for the long sack. And finally, Neal all alone going 28 yards for the score, and the other GSU celebrates at our house, breaking an 11-game home win streak, winning 34-7, the most lopsided loss in Paulson Stadium history.
Boys, get out!
Get into TC Outdoors and get out. Get out there and catch a fish. TC Outdoors has everything you need. TC Outdoors, 246 Northside Drive East in Statesboro, or tc-outdoors.com, your hunting and fishing headquarters.
And after the game, we had a chance to talk with head coach Willie Friss and some of the players about the Eagles' 34-7 loss here at Paulson Stadium.
I mean, just execution is what it really all came down to. I mean, some points in the game we were hitting right guys and on our right assignments, but we didn't finish and follow through throughout the whole entire game. They had a lot to play for coming into this game. I mean, they had won like their last 3 games as well. So, I mean, it's a completely different team from last year. I think they got a lot of JUCO guys and a lot of those guys from UAB as well. So it's not at all the same team that we played last year.
We just got outplayed. We didn't execute when we had to, when the time really mattered. We didn't match their energy level. No, it's shocking. I mean, all week we practiced hard. We prepared to come out here and play a great football game. But things just didn't. I want to say it didn't go our way, and we didn't put ourselves in position to get it to go our way. They didn't get in out here. Coach Fritz told us, every time we came back from the sideline, play our game. Can't let them, all that talking and unsportsmanlike conduct. It just, when it came down to execute, we didn't get the job done.
It's extremely tough. We got a winning tradition here, especially at home. Makes it tough, but I mean, you got to get over it. We got a big game coming up here in a few weeks in the bowl game wherever we go, so you got to get prepared for that. You never want to make judgments as soon as the game's over. You want to go back and watch the tape and see what we did wrong, but we obviously just didn't execute enough.
Oh, just very disappointed. Got out-coached, got out-played. Thought we had a decent week of preparation. Obviously, they've done a nice job of working on us and really did a good job of defending the option. I thought they won up front, both sides of the ball, and we just didn't didn't play the way we needed to play. Had some opportunities in the first half. So hoping we had an opportunity to score. That last series, the first half, we throw the pick. Then we also had, we were receiving the opening kickoff, and basically I think we went 3 and out, punted them. They scored that series, and that kind of gave them a lot of momentum in the second half. So told our guys, I'm disappointed. They're disappointed. The only silver lining, I guess, in the whole deal is we get an opportunity to play again. I thought the guys were ready to play when we went out there, but we just didn't execute very well. And there's a bunch of calls I'd like to have back that we could have, that I'd like to have had different, but you don't get that opportunity. Hindsight's 20/20. I can call it a real good game after the play's over. Well, they're well schooled in the option. I think watching them from the sideline, they got good athletes. No question about that. Tall, long, fast, quick. We knew that coming into the game. And they obviously done a lot of work on us, and it paid off. And defensively, I thought we played pretty good for a period of time. And then gave up a couple big plays there early, and the first touchdown and the second touchdown, and then they started running the ball on us, and that was disappointing. I thought there was time in there they just kind of took what they wanted to take from us, and that was disappointing. We got some time off. That's good, I feel like we got really good young men to represent our program, and those guys are going to, come out and get going. This will be the first bowl game in the history of Georgia Southern, and we need to go out and redeem ourselves.
Well, Mike, what can you say? 34-7, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the biggest lopsided victory in Paulson Stadium history. You just don't see teams come in here to Georgia Southern and do anything like this, let alone a team with a below 500 record that came in like Georgia State, and a team that I think most fans, most players, if you talk to them man to man, they'd have said, we think we're going to win this game.
Well, everybody always thinks they're going to win the game, and a lead up to any game is full of cliches. The same can be said cliche-wise about what happened out there today. Any team can win on any given day, especially when a team like Georgia State comes out there, executes its game plan, plays confidently, and definitely want to give them all the credit. They earned it out there, but you see this happen from time to time in these big upsets. It's not that Georgia Southern necessarily played terribly. It's not that every single bounce went against them, but you have a few things go against you. You give a team a little bit of confidence, a few more things go against you, and all of a sudden they can't dig out of that one. A couple of drop passes, a turnover that doesn't quite go their way, where they thought they had a turnover, a chance to get back in the game. And when you do too many of those things, sometimes you look up, and even if you are the better team, even if they could go out there tomorrow and be a 21-point favorite again, sometimes it's a little bit too late when you look up and there's nothing you can do about it.
All right, well, the bowl game still looms for Georgia Southern on the 23rd, going to Mobile to play down there at South Alabama's home. Your thoughts on now the Georgia Southern Eagles having a week off before they have to go to the bowl game?
Well, probably going to need the extra week off. They've got finals to prepare for, but as much as they want to rest up, get healthy physically, they might have to get healthy mentally about this one. As tough as the Georgia loss was, a game they thought they should have won, I would say that it's probably even harder when there's a game that you know that you could have easily won, and then you not only lose, but you lose in a fashion like that. So they're going to have to get their head straight. This is still the goal that this team set for itself at the beginning of the year. They wanted to get to a first ever bowl game. They'll have a chance to do that. Sorry to see the seniors not end their Paulson Stadium career with a win, but they do have their chance to end their Georgia Southern career with a win and the team's first ever bowl win in program history.
All right, for now, that'll wrap things up. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you in a couple weeks from Mobile, Alabama.